Okay, then I will begin. Hi everybody, I'm Moritz. Nice to meet you. Unfortunately, I can't hear you, but maybe if you have questions during the speech, you can write in the developer chat in Telegram. So like if you have questions, I will just ask questions here. I will write in the chat. And maybe we'll get the video and audio done. Okay, but let me introduce first of all Dacade to you. Maybe you already know it, but I. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Okay, great. So let me start here with the presentation. Okay, so Dacade is a peer-to-peer learning platform, and let's first look at the B2C part, which is probably most interesting to you. This means business to consumer, and it's basically what we do for students. So what you can experience on this platform. So what we are doing at Dacade is peer-to-peer knowledge transfer. So this means that knowledge should be transferred from one person to another, and there are not really hierarchies, at least not in the end. So first of all, what are we trying to solve? What kind of problem are we trying to solve? So the problem is that learning new skills with personal feedback is very expensive and hard to scale. So when you can imagine this like if you want to really learn something, you need a good teacher or someone who gives you real feedback. Obviously, you can also just look stuff up on Wikipedia, on the internet, but from this, you don't learn so much. It's not the same thing as when you have someone who already knows the subject and can tell you about this. But the problem is that when you have this kind of person like a teacher, they're usually very expensive. Because especially like if they just interact with you, then you have to pay them obviously for their time. And then also if you need more teachers, it's very hard to get more teachers. So this is kind of the challenge that we are tackling. How can you learn? Can you make learning easier and more scalable and then also cheaper? So what we do at Dacade is usually platforms are more focused on passive learning, which is like traditional e-learning. So you have like tutorials on the internet where you can look up stuff, or you have like just articles, you have videos, especially a lot of videos. And this is basically something, yeah, you can learn and understand something from that. But what we are focusing on is more, okay, now that you have learned this and you have got the information, our part is how can you apply this information? So learning is not just about getting information, but also so that you actually learn a skill and something gets stuck in your brain, you need to apply it. You need to use this information and get feedback on it and create your own thing. And that's what we're doing on Dacade. So we want to make active learning, so it's not passive, but active. You interact with something, you learn a skill, you build something, and obviously also social learning. So you also learn best if you're interacting with another person, because the social component makes you more motivated and it gets more emotional, the learning, so it gets easier stuck in your head and you can really learn something. And that's what we're doing in contrast to passive and isolated learning. So what really is Dacade? So what learners do on Dacade is they can acquire new skills, and they do this through an open peer-to-peer knowledge transfer. So how we do this? One thing what we have is educational interactions are encouraged through incentives. So you can earn token if you give someone feedback, for example, or if you interact with someone else, you can earn something from that. And that's the incentive. We have another incentive. You can also, just for learning, and if you give a submission to a challenge that you have, I will explain later what it is, but then you can also earn something from that. So probably a difference what you learn from other learning platforms where you have to pay something. On Dacade, it's kind of the opposite. You can also earn something, not just paying. Then we have a reputation system. This just signals, okay, is it somebody who already spent a lot of time on this, somebody who already gave good feedback. And yeah, what I already said, that learning can be incentivized too. So let's have a look at how this works in practice. This may look a little bit difficult, but I will show you later on a live example in how it works in practice. This is just a theory. So in theory, an expert or anybody actually can create a learning community around a specific topic. For example, the development one-on-one course of eternity. This is a learning community, and inside we have a course, a tutorial. And so the expert, they create this learning community. Inside the community, they have learning materials. So this can be videos or articles that the student need to learn, but that is not the focus. They just can gather those materials. They don't have to create them from scratch. They can just link to something that people should study. And then comes the more important part that is unique to Dacade. Then we have assignments. So students actually get some kind of a challenge or something, what I talked before about, where they have to apply their new knowledge. So they learn something in the learning materials, and now they have to apply it in the assignment. An assignment could be, for example, okay, now that you learned how to build a decentralized application, now build your own decentralized application. And this would be the assignment. And so the learner makes a submission. So for example, their own decentralized application. And then the peers, so this means other learners who probably already have more knowledge than this new learner, someone who already made the course, for example, they can give feedback on the submission. So they can say, hey, this and this could be made better, or I make a pull request. I see that you had a problem with your code here. And this is very valuable because usually when you just learn something in the internet and you make a tutorial, you can just build it, but you don't get any feedback on that. And that makes it very hard to learn from it. And then in the end, we have the expert, so the one who created the community or someone who's working for him, and they can then evaluate the submission. So they can say, okay, this was a very good submission, or this submission was kind of problematic. It could be made better, and they give an evaluation, so they rate the submission. And on the same part, they also rate the feedback of the peers, so they can say, okay, this was a very good feedback, and they can incentivize them, so they can give token rewards for a very good submission and also for very good feedback. And this is kind of the system, how the system works. I will show you later in practice on the platform. And one example that we are doing at the moment, one course is called Introduction to Blockchain. This is a non-technical course. And in this course, the challenge, in this course, you learn in 30 minutes from video learning materials about blockchain technology. And this leads to a challenge. So now you have to apply the new knowledge. And this challenge where you have to apply it is to think about your own blockchain use case. So now that you have learned what blockchain technology is, think about, okay, where would it make sense to use blockchain technology? And if you do a good job, then you get a reward for that. And also you will get feedback on your peers who will tell you why this was a good idea, or why it could be problematic and how it could be improved. And for this, we have received over 700 submissions, so over 700 use cases, and a lot of feedback on that. So You can check it out if you like and see what people think about specific ideas, and maybe also come up with ideas. Maybe later if you build something, then you can use this as inspiration for a product that you can build on the blockchain. Okay, now just like the B2B part, really quick, that's probably not so interesting for you, but maybe it's just to have a background knowledge about why do people pay you for learning. This may not make a lot of sense to you, so just to describe you why it's interesting for companies to do, is that for companies it's very hard to get developers, so sourcing is hard. So if you are, for example, a company like Eternity or Ethereum, then everybody wants a lot of people who use this platform or use this protocol, because it becomes worth more if more people use it, obviously. Like you see the price of a token rises if a lot of people use the token and build something out of it. And so everybody wants developers to build on their protocol. But today, like a lot of marketing efforts are very hard and difficult to measure. So for example, if you sponsor a conference, yeah, maybe you get something out of it, but you don't know how many people in the end build something from this talks or whatever. How many people actually converted to someone who built on this protocol? And that's what we do on Dacade. So first of all, people are incentivized to try the technology out because you can earn token rewards. So for them, it's telling, okay, it's like a mini hackathon. You're telling people, hey, participate, and if you do a good job, you can earn something. And this obviously makes it a lot more attractive for users. And also you can measure the results. So Eternity, for example, in the end, they can see, okay, we have received like 30 new products. And this cost us like €100 per product. And so they can measure, yeah, okay, this makes sense, or maybe this was expensive. So, and then Dacade is currently focused on developers in emerging markets, like you, for example. And why we are doing it, because companies are interested in this, because in the emerging countries, there's more potential for blockchain applications. In markets and developed countries like Germany, for example, we already have a very strong infrastructure, and it's hard for people to change. Like if banks and everything is already working quite well enough, people are not so inclined to change. But in emerging markets where a lot of infrastructure is still like building, it's still emerging, it's easier to actually build new things with blockchain applications. That's why it's interesting. And on the other side, it's also interesting because emerging countries are a lot of very young people, and this makes a lot of sense for them to learn something. And here in developed countries, there are more older people who it's more difficult for them to educate them on new technology. Okay, yeah, then learn more on Dacade.org, and you can get in touch with me. But I will follow up with a live example of the platform. But maybe if you already have questions, you can send a question in the chat. Maybe I will wait for a couple of seconds if you have a question. If not, I will go on to the website. Okay, then I will go on. So now let's have a look on Dacade, how it works in practice. So let's look here at the website. Maybe it makes full screen so it looks a bit nicer. Okay, so first of all, this is a landing page. Maybe if you haven't seen it, Dacade.org, but you probably got the link. Let me switch it up here. Okay, so this is where you land. And if you maybe forgot or don't know what Dacade is about, you can click here and you will get a video. So here Dacade is explained in 90 seconds with emojis. it's like maybe a little bit nicer form of what I described to you just now in more detail, but you can see, learn everything here. And then here's another video, which is a walkthrough, which is basically what I'm doing now with you. And here I go through the platform and explain it again. So if you forgot, or maybe it was a little bit too fast or not so good understandable, just click on this again. Yeah, here are a couple of user stories. Here you can see that we already have like 4,000 learners, 1,000 submissions. You can see people who are contributing, and obviously also, like, if you want to contribute in some one form or another, we would be very happy. Like, it's an open project, we want everybody to participate. And here's our Telegram group that you can open up, and yeah, we have like 360 members at the moment. And if you have questions or whatever, this is also a great place to get feedback. I'm logged in already, but if you don't have an account, you need to register with an email address and a password, and then you can choose a username. So first of all, here you land at the learning communities. So here are different views, and the first is the communities. Here are the learning communities that you can choose from. We have 4 at the moment. One is Introduction to Blockchain. This is non-technical, just explains to you what blockchain technology is with videos. Then we have Eternity Development 1-on-1, where we will learn how to build an Eternity app. We have an Ethereum Development 1-on-1 tutorial and learning community, and web development. For somebody who doesn't know anything about programming, they can start here and build their own website with Bootstrap and host it on GitHub. Okay, but now let's have a look at the Eternity Development 1-on-1 course, because that's probably what you are going to do. And that's also, let me go back. And that is probably also that's also probably the most interesting starting point. So first of all, you can see also the rewards. So here you can earn $75 for a successful submission and $10 for valuable feedback. But this $10 are distributed about the best between the best 3 answers. But I will show you in a minute how this looks like. It's like maybe just the learning materials are around 2 hours. But with coding and everything, you probably will need a little bit more. And we already have like 50 submissions, so 50 decentralized apps built on that. Here again, you can see like similar metrics. That's what you can earn. These are $10, 50 submission, and already 240 times feedback on them. What you will learn here is, first of all, you will learn what Eternity technology is. Then you will learn how to write smart contracts and how to use the smart contract editor, and then in the end you will build the front end of your application, and you will see how you can connect it with the Eternity blockchain. So here's the trailer. If you want to know what we are going to build, you can check it out here, but I can show it to you too. Like here in the end, you can check out this example in the base app. You will probably get it later. You can see it in the video. This is a URL of the base app, and then inside the base app is here the URL. And here, what this app does is that you can take funny pictures and insert them here, and then put in your name, click on register, and then they are stored on the blockchain. Here you can see here already some images that people submitted, and now other people can vote on them. So for example, I can vote with 20 ethos. This is a very small unit of eternity token. And I can vote this, so I have to pay for it. And the people who created this or submitted this meme, they will get this ethos. So I click on vote. Now I make a transaction. You can see this is actually live on the testnet. So you actually are spending something on the testnet. I click confirm. It takes a little bit to load because we are interacting with the blockchain, and you can see the amount increased here. So this is basically what you learn how to build in this tutorial. And yeah, I won't go into more details here, but let's see what the different chapters are about. So the first chapter is what I already told you. There you will learn about the concepts of eternity. There you don't learn any programming. It's just videos that explain to you what eternity is and why it's different from other blockchain platforms. Then we have the voting contract. So here you learn how to write a smart contract and the front end. And in the end, you will have a challenge. It's what I talked to you about before. So now that you learned how to build a tutorial, how to build a decentralized application, now you actually have to apply your knowledge. So now you have to do something and you can earn money with it. So now you can earn $75 worth of eternity token. So let's click start. Here's the first chapter, like I told you, all nice videos. I won't go into much detail, but they're explained here. Functional programming explained, state channels are explained, oracles are explained, and that's basically the first chapter. Second chapter, you have the smart contract editor. We'll explain to you what the smart contract editor is, and then we start to build our own contract. You can see the code here. If you click on here, you will get to GitHub, and you can just copy the code here if you didn't get along in the videos. We have the next chapter then, and this is the final chapter where you learn how to build the HTML and CSS of it, also all in videos. And then when you are finished with all these materials, you can start to send something to the challenge. So in this case, I already made the challenge, but maybe like to explain to you briefly what you have to do in this challenge is that you should build your own DApp, but you should do it differently than what we showed to you in the learning materials. So this may sound like a little bit confusing, but we don't the code. Yeah, so this would be the code, and we don't want you to just copy and paste this, or also just to change like the variable names or change like a little bit of stuff. This is not so interesting. So for us, not to show that you actually really learned something and maybe also research something, the important part here is to build something really new. So to make a totally new function. It doesn't have to do something with voting or something like this, but maybe to make a review or something, or I don't know, store the time when someone did something. You can check it later out in the Sophia eternity documentation that you can find here and in the forum, and maybe you get some ideas what you can do differently. Just don't just copy and paste, but think about, okay, how can I make this different? Yeah, so what I said, the most important rating criteria here to actually earn the $75 is to make it original. So this means here you get the most points if you create multiple new functions at best. So create a lot of new functions, and then you should get a lot of points here. Then the contract obviously should also have a quality, should actually work, should please test it before you submit it, that everything works. And then you will also get a lot of points for that. And the front-end originality, don't copy and paste just what I did in the front end, but think about your own maybe style and build your own application with also maybe new functionality in the JavaScript front end. And for that, you will also get more learning points. And again, the same thing here, and if you do a good job and everything works, then you will get also the full amount of learning points. And if you earn 14 out of this 20 learning points, you will get the $75. So here you can make the submission then. So just write, I built a new decentralized application that is a social network or whatever people can post. And then you should apply your GitHub link. So maybe something that I didn't mention before is that you, in the end, on GitHub, so people can interact with it, and you can just copy this link here and post it in here, and then you can submit it. So after you submit it, it's one of the submissions that are here, and let's look into one submission so we can see what's going on. So in this case, for example, Defees built a platform called Crypto Flow. We can check out the GitHub code here. So what is it about? It's a platform where they can secure their daily activity. Maybe it's not the best blockchain use case, but this doesn't matter here. It just matters that it works. So here we can check out the code. Like, okay, cool. We can already see, maybe not for you now, but I can already see, okay, they made something new here. It doesn't look, for example, this kind of stuff we haven't covered in the tutorial. So this is kind of an original contract. And we can also test it. So I can click here on website, and then we can see, okay, this is a website. I will copy it here into the base app so I can actually try it out. Okay, I have to pay something to interact with it. And now the website is loaded and I can add a task. I mean, the problem here of this website, I won't show you everything, but you can see, okay, this is like, we can interact with it and we paid for it. So it kind of works. I won't test it now in full detail, but you see, here's like the evaluation that I gave them. They made a lot of multiple new functions, so they got a lot of learning points here for the originality. Was good quality, almost perfect, so got good points for that, year 2 and year 2. So in this case, a learner earned 60 out of 20 learning points and got the $75. And here is also feedback of the peers. So I won't read everything here, but you can see, okay, here's everything that the peers wrote. And here is the GitHub pull request. So they changed also something that wasn't working in the beginning. And here are other feedbacks that were given here, and some of them also earned. And the best feedback earns $6 in this case and 6 reputation points. The second best feedback earns $3 and 3 reputation points. And the third best feedback earns $1 and 1 reputation point. This is kind of how the peer learning works. So other people will give you reviews and will give you also pull requests so that you can actually see in the code what could be made. It about the journey here. Then we have a scoreboard where we can see, okay, who is like on top, who made a lot of good feedback here. You can see Emmanuel and Jet, they are very on top here of everything. And here are other people who gave good feedback. And just briefly now, when you have finished this, now you can also do earn bounties. So for example, here you can earn money for giving feedback in the introduction to blockchain community. Here you can earn feedback for giving web development one-on-one feedback. And here for an eternity submission, you can earn $10 feedback. So this constantly, you can earn stuff here. You can also earn for referrals. So if you tell someone about this course and they make a good submission, you can also earn something with that. Everything that you can earn, you can see here in the bounties tab. earned something or when you paid out something. Then we have the profile. Here in the profile, you first have to verify your account, and then you can enter an address and a wallet address. In this case, it's just an example address, and you can cash it out here. So now you can send a cash out request if you want to cash out your $71 in this example in AE token, and you want to send it to an address. You can make a request here and it will get sent to you. The same thing here, if you take part in a community that is where you get rewards in Ethereum, you can enter Ethereum address here and then also cash out the Ethereum token. Here you can see how much reputation you have in what community, and here the learning points that you earned in each community. And here's just the sign out where you, if you want to sign out, you click here. And that's basically the platform, how it works. Here, let's go back to the communities and maybe check out some more submissions that people do that I really liked. So here someone built, for example, a quiz app. Maybe this is also interesting for you for inspiration, what you can do where people like earned a lot of points. Here someone built a crowdfunding app. This is also a nice idea. So maybe let's check out this app first. Quizify. So here, okay, I won't go into details now. I have to, actually I can do it. Okay, I have to pay. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to load because maybe there were already a lot of submissions on the blockchain, and first of all it has to be synchronized, so it may take a little bit. But here it's nice, you know, like here you have questions, for example, and you can answer the questions, submit it, and now you have stored something on the blockchain. I think a really nice idea. Let's check out one more. So what is this? It's a crowdfunding app, also a very good idea, I think. Yeah, maybe I won't fill out everything here. But yeah, you can see how this works. But I think this one is also really nice designed. Fund AE. You can add project, fund project, maybe let's look at some projects. Need a pen, you can see here. People can donate to it, and a creator can pay it out. It's nice, clean design and a great idea. Yeah, this is all kind of the projects that we are looking out for. So this is something that looks very interesting. And maybe if you did a really good job, you can even like develop this further, and maybe at some point it will get funded by Eternity or by someone else. So I think this is a very great idea. And yeah, and so I'm happy to see like your contributions here to Dacade and to this Eternity Development one-on-one community, and see your projects and hope you engage with the community. So this would be it for my presentation here. If you have any questions now, maybe write them in the chat on Telegram, or also maybe Jet can take them for you and write it here in the Zoom chat. I don't know what's easier for you. No, you don't. So the question was, are we going to get paid for every project that we submit to the platform? No. So like I said before, that we are evaluating it. So you need to earn, out of this 20 learning points, you need to earn 14 learning points. I think at the moment, maybe half of the submission earn something and the other half don't earn something. But you still have the possibility, after you submitted something, you can adjust it and make it better, and then you can resubmit it. You can just tell me, hey, I made an update, and then I will evaluate it again, and then you have another chance of earning the token. But so that's why I'm telling you it's important that you check out here, like what are our rating criteria? So how are we rating you? And if you know this, then you can maybe already think, okay, this makes sense. Like I should make the contract a little bit more original. And yeah, you can see for yourself, like if you think that this could be a good, this could be something that you earn money with, or that you won't get all the learning points that you need to earn the token. So to answer the question quickly, no, you don't get paid for every project. You're just getting paid if you did a very good job, like based on the rating criteria that we have. And at the moment, it's like 50%, I would say, who get the token and 50% who don't. Like if you scroll through, you can probably see that. Here, 11 points, you don't earn something, 70 points, you earn something, 15 points, you earn something, 9 points, didn't earn something, 14 points, you earned something. And also maybe another, submit multiple projects. You can submit multiple projects. At the moment, you can just submit. You can also give reviews, and if you did a good review, then you can also get paid for that. And yeah, that's about the payment stuff. I hope you understood it. Otherwise, maybe look at the video again, or also you can write me on Telegram or ask in the group on Telegram on Dacade, or also in the ækiti developers group. Yeah, if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Maybe just at another time than on the chat. It's maybe easier. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.